15 astonishing details about the sun. The sun's presence is essential to life as we know it. It significantly affects our planet in the following ways. Through photosynthesis, it supports seasons, climate, ocean currents, weather, and plant life. Life would not be possible on Earth without the sun's heat and light. Astronomers have spent decades trying to understand the sun's composition, age, and a host of other details. Does it, for instance, have a magnetic field? What is its weight? We'll go over a number of fascinating facts about our sun in this video. Put your seatbelts on and let's go. Let's start with number 15. Solar age is very old. In our Milky Way galaxy, there are 100 billion stars like it. The sun is thought to be about 4.5 billion years old, according to scientists. Since it would be impossible, we have never directly measured the age of the sun. We only have indirect techniques to estimate it. We consider the age of the entire solar system to get an idea because we believe it all formed at roughly the same time. We look for the oldest items we can find in order to determine this number. Moon rocks are a good example of this. Because of this, when astronauts visited the moon, they brought back a few rocks so that scientists could examine them and determine how old they are. Understanding the sun's composition is very important. When we look at it in the sky, we might assume it is a sphere or think it has a ball-like shape. That's true, for sure, but how was it made? 14. The sun is not solid. Plasma, a substance formed of electrically charged gas atoms, makes up its composition. About 75% of it is hydrogen, while 25% of it is helium. Tiny metal traces make up the remaining traces. The fact that Jupiter shares the same chemical makeup as the sun is really intriguing. The sun would merely be a huge hydrogen ball, similar to Jupiter, if it were smaller. There is a lot of gravity holding the hydrogen in the sun's core together, which leads to enormous pressure. Nuclear fusion is a process that occurs when hydrogen atoms collide with enough force to produce helium as a result of the extreme pressure. The sun's core reaches temperatures of roughly 27 million degrees Fahrenheit due to continuous nuclear fusion, which builds up energy 15 million degrees Celsius. After that, the energy spreads outward to reach the sun's atmosphere, surface, and further. On Earth, we can sense this energy because the sun's heat is felt on our bodies. Every day, it aids in drying our garments. But what's incredible is that 13. The sun is very remote. Nearly 93 million miles separate it from Earth. The following list would result from sorting all the planets from nearest to farthest distance. Mercury is 35.000.000 miles from the Sun, while Neptune is 2.8 billion miles away. Other planets are Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. My very educated mother just served us noodles is a simple mnemonic frequently used to remember the sequence. But given that it might sound a little sexist, I think it's time to alter it. Do you have any further plain ideas? Tell us in the comments section below. 12. How big is the sun? Its diameter is around 865,000 kilometers. To further understand, imagine 109 Earths lined up side by side. Oh, and the sun could fit almost a million Earths. Isn't that amazing? This enormous object is a marvel in space. What is certain is that 11. Proceeds extremely slow. A fact, the sun is at the core of our solar system, but it is not stationary. It takes the sun approximately 226 million years to complete one circle of the Milky Way galaxy's center. In contrast, the dinosaurs vanished about 65 million years ago. But not only the sun revolves around the Milky Way's nucleus. When viewed from the North Pole, it also revolves around its axis in the same counterclockwise direction as Earth. 10. Portions of the sun spin at various rate. The sun is a gas, thus its various parts rotate at various rates. The region surrounding the equator spins once every 25 days or so at the surface. South and north poles of the sun rotate more slowly. One rotation in those places may take longer than a month to complete. 9. The sun has a great demand. More than 99% of the solar system's mass is contained within it. Due to its size, the sun pulls the planets with such force that they are forced into an orbit around it. It blew people's minds when they realized this. The planets orbit this pulling monster according to the Kepler laws. Unbelievably, the gravity of the sun is approximately 27.9 times greater than that of Earth. Astronomers managed to measure the energy coming from the sun, don't ask how. They made an astounding discovery. 8. The sun is a massive ball of energy. The core of the sun is under intense pressure. As a result, hydrogen atoms are continually slamming into one another very quickly, fusing to create helium and releasing energy. However, from where does this energy come? These collisions happen frequently, and the energy they produce is huge. Consider this: the sun produces approximately 118 trillion times more energy in a single second than the USA consumed in 2003. The ninth fact might seem obvious, yet it's nevertheless important to note that 7. It's hot outside. Even if it isn't your significant other. Its temperature changes over time, and through its 8 layers, it is not constant. One thing is for certain: the sun's core averages 28,080,000 degrees Fahrenheit, making it the hottest region. Did you also know that? 6. Does the sun have pots? Because of its magnetic field, this is. The magnetic field of the sun blocks the heat rising inside from penetrating through the surface. There are certain types of tubes made where the magnetic field's divergence is constant. This lowers the pressure inside the tube and thus lowers the temperature. Because of this, the sun's surface is still quite bright in these regions, but cooler and darker than its surroundings. Sunspots are the name for these dark regions. Sunspots can slowly migrate over the sun's surface and can grow and shrink as they move. They are not permanent. In theory, one might determine a star's rotational speed by monitoring them. Sunspot development on the sun likewise adheres to the 11-year solar cycle. Why does this matter? There will be an increase in sunspot activity every 11 years. The size of a sunspot can range from 10,000 miles across to 100,000 miles wide. If you like this video, you should check out the solar system video we made. There are some astounding truths about how the cosmos works that you should know. Do we know anything about the shape of the sun's magnetic field, notwithstanding what we mentioned earlier? Well, as a rough estimate. Number 5. The sun's magnetic field is spiral-shaped. Parker spiral is the name of it. Through the solar system, the sun's magnetic field forms what is known as an Archimedean spiral as it revolves. The Parker spiral is a common name for this phenomena, which honors Eugene Parker's contributions. The interplanetary magnetic field structure was predicted by this person. The heliospheric current sheet, the biggest structure in the solar system, is produced as a result of this spiral-shaped magnetic field's influence on the solar wind, the interplanetary medium. For you should be careful not to approach the sun too closely, because doing so could cause you to be quickly pulverized. This is true, as sometimes certain sun-related regions seem to suddenly become a lot brighter. Solar flares are the name for these bright areas. They are places on the sun's surface where a lot of energy is released. High-energy X-rays and gamma rays are among the electromagnetic radiation bursts that solar flares produce. A single solar flare can produce energy equivalent to 1 million nuclear bombs detonating simultaneously. Here is how they seem. These enormous flares are composed of particles, and when they are released, they have a short travel time to Earth. These particles have the potential to harm satellite electronics and interfere with some radio broadcasts. Number 3, possibly the most crucial truth about the sun is that it is a very typical star. In the cosmos, the Sun is not particularly unique. It is a typical star. There are smaller stars and larger stars, some of which can be up to 100 times larger. While our solar system only contains one sun, many other solar systems have many suns. The surface of our Sun is 10,000 degrees Fahrenheit and has a diameter of 864,000 kilometers. For instance, we have discovered stars that have a diameter 100 times greater than that of the Sun. Those stars are quite big. We have also observed stars that are only a tenth as big as the Sun. The Sun, for instance, would appear as a mere speck in comparison to stars like Rigel and Aldebaran. The Sun, though, might be a little unique in that it is not present in multi-star systems. It has no connection to any other nearby stars. Only one sun is present, and it is encircled by planets, asteroids, comets, and dwarf planets. But several suns are possible in solar systems. That happens frequently. The majority of stars are found in multi-star systems. This implies that other star systems typically include two or more suns. Can you picture seeing two suns in the sky at once? There are certainly many worlds in the universe where that is common. What a life it would be, multiple sunrises and sunsets. Or perhaps not. Second fact, the Sun is almost halfway through its lifetime. If it were a person, we may remark that he is approaching 40, I suppose. It still has almost 5 billion years left because we said it was 4.5 billion years old. Number 1, after those 5 billion years, the Sun will turn into a red behemoth in 1. At the same time that our star gets bigger, it also gets colder. The Sun as we know it today won't exist when that occurs. Our Sun will shine 2,000 times brighter than it does now as a red behemoth. We would be far gone by then. Here's where the video ends. Thank you for viewing. If you liked the video, be sure to follow the channel. Possibly also enable the notifications. See you again soon.